Let's start with the episode 1 of Mahabharata. I'm not a professional talker, so just sit back and relax and listen to the story. You won't want to miss what happens next. Hello there. The story begins in Hastinapur. The kingdom is facing danger, and the people are attacked by Rakshasas. Rakshasas are nothing but devils and demons. At this difficult moment, the powerful warrior arrives to protect the people. But there is something very important about this warrior. His name is Devrat, and he is son of King Shantanu and goddess Ganga. King Shantanu had been separated from his son for many years, but now Ganga reveals the truth to Shantanu. Devrat is his son, and when Shantanu finally sees Devrat, he accepts him. Devrat is not just any ordinary prince, he is intelligent, powerful, and a great warrior. So Shantanu decides to make Devrat the prince, the future prince of Hastinapur. But there's a problem. That problem is Satyavati. Shantanu loves Satyavati and wants to marry her, but Satyavati's future is connected to the throne of Hastinapur. When Satyavati learns about Devrat and realizes that he is already the heir to the throne, the situation becomes complicated. Devrat tries to convince Satyavati to stay with his father, but Satyavati asks Shantanu to make a choice, and this is where everything begins to change. Because Devrat realizes that his father's happiness and future of Hastinapur are now connected, and soon he is going to make one of the biggest sacrifices in entire history. Devrat sees his father's pain. He understands that Shantanu's love for Satyavati is creating a conflict. So Devrat takes a decision. He gives up his claim to the throne, but that is not enough. Devrat realizes that even if he gives up the throne, his future children could claim one day the kingdom. So he makes an even greater sacrifices. He takes a terrible oath. He promises that he will never marry. He will stay a brahmacharya. What is a brahmacharya? Is a person who doesn't marry in the first place. Second, he doesn't get in relationship with any woman in any form. He will never have children of his own. The extraordinary vow is what gives Devrat the name Bhishma. Because his oath is so terrifying and so difficult that it becomes almost impossible for an ordinary person to make such a promise. Then, this is one of the most important moments in the entire Mahabharata story. Think about it. One man's decision, one man's sacrifice, one man's promise will eventually affect generation of the family. Bhishma has given up his right to become king. He has also given up the possibility of having a family of his own, all because he wants his father to be happy and wants to protect the future of Hastinapur. But the story doesn't stop here. He must protect the dynasty, and the responsibility brings him face to face with his younger brother Vichitravirya. As the story moves forward, Vichitravirya becomes an important part of the future of Hastinapur. But Vichitravirya is not as strong as experienced as Bhishma. At this point, Vichitravirya gets into trouble and is captured by the king of Panchal. Bhishma steps in and saves him. But Bhishma is also angry with Vichitravirya and wants him to understand the consequences of his actions. However, Satyavati intervenes. She wants Vichitravirya to marry and continue the dynasty. And this is where the story takes Bhishma to the kingdom of Kashi. The king of Kashi is organizing a Swayamvar for his three daughters. Now you might be wondering what exactly a Swayamvar is. In ancient times, when princess was ready to get married, a Swayamvar would be organized. Kings and princes from another kingdom would come together and the princess would choose the man she wanted to marry. In some swayamvars, there would also be a difficult challenges that the participant had to compete. The names are Amba, Ambika, and the Ambalika. But Bhishma arrives with a different purpose. He wants to bring the three princes to Hastinapur so that they can marry Vichitravirya. And this leads to a major confrontation. Bhishma faces the powerful King Shalva. A fierce battle takes place, but Bhishma proves his strength and defeats Salva. The three princesses are taken to Hastinapur, but there is one major problem. Amba already has feelings for Shalva. The she does not want to marry Vichitravirya. This is where the story becomes much more complicated. Because Bhishma's decision, which was made for sake of Hastinapur, has now deeply affected by Amba's life. Amba feels that her life has been destroyed. She believes that she has been placed in the situation because of Bhishma. She wants justice and she asks Bhishma to marry her, but Bhishma cannot do that. Why? Because remember the oath he took? Bhishma has promised that he will never marry. He has given up his personal life completely, so he refuses Amba's request. But for Amba, this is devastating. She feels trapped. She feels that Bhishma has taken away her freedom and then refuses to take responsibility for what has happened. And slowly her pains turns into anger. Then her anger becomes a desire for revenge. Amba makes a powerful promise that she will not rest until she takes revenge on Bhishma. And this is a very important turning point. Because Amba's story does not end here, in fact, her determination to defeat Bhishma will continue for years. She seeks the help of Lord Parshurama, one of the greatest warriors of that age. And now Bhishma is about to face a challenge unlike anything he has experienced before. While Amba's anger continues to grow, another tragedy strikes the family. Vichitravirya dies under mysterious circumstances. His death creates a huge problem for the dynasty. Why? Because the future of kingdom is now uncertain. There is no clear heir for Vichitravirya. Bhishma has already taken his oath. He cannot become king, he cannot marry, and he cannot have a children. So the decision that Bhishma once made to protect the future of Hastinapur has now created a completely different problem. Bhishma is deeply disturbed by Vichitravirya's death. He even questions Suryanarayan about what happened. Suryanarayan is nothing but the sun. And at the same time, Amba's determination to take revenge becomes stronger. She now moving forward to take a confrontation with Bhishma. The story of Mahabharata does not begin with Pandavas and Kauravas. It begins much earlier. It begins with choices. King Shantanu choices, Satyavati choices, Devrat choices. Bhishma makes a choice, Amba makes a choice. But every choice creates another consequence. Bhishma's oath saves his father's happiness, but the same oath creates problems for the future of Hastinapur. Bhishma brings the princess of Kashi to Hastinapur to secure the future of Kuru dynasty. But Amba's life changed forever, and Amba's anger eventually becomes the part of the larger story of Bhishma's dynasty. This is why the beginning of Mahabharata is so important, because the great war of Kurukshetra doesn't suddenly happen one day. The seeds of the war are planted many generations earlier. I hope you enjoyed episode 1, where we talked about the Bhishma, the Amba decision, Satyavati, the poor choices they made because of the family relationships. So let's hang out and let's find out more that what happens next. So don't forget to subscribe my channel and let me know in the comments if you're waiting for episode 2. See ya.